after a thrilling Belmont, we go from upstate to the city and Yankees Stadium for baseball night in America. One of the great rivalries in sports. The New York Yankees and their superstar Aaron Judge taking on the Boston Red Sox. Yankees took the first game of this series 9-6 last night. Their 20th win in their last 27 games. We welcome you inside. Hope you're having a great weekend. Joe Davis with the Hall of Famer John Smoltz. The Yankees are in first place because they're pitching really well, because they have more depth than they did last year. But let's not bury the lead. Aaron Judge has been the best hitter in baseball, and it's not even close.
Not even close. How much time do we have to talk about him?
Not enough.
Okay, so I'll get right to the point. He has been unbelievable. A dream year for a hitter. He's gotten better every year, and all he's done is dominated every category. It's not even close. To think that someone could be hitting 400 and have that kind of power and size, it's a big reason why the Yankees have the lead they do in first place. Obviously going to the Hall of Fame before it's all said and done, but having a Hall of Fame year.
Red Sox, John, not much has gone right. One of the bright spots, though, is the guy that they're going to throw today. They traded for Garrett Crochet this offseason. He's given them everything they could have hoped for.
He really is, and they signed him to a big contract. They just need more of it. They need more pitchers in their rotation to get off to good starts. Well, he's not only gotten off to a good start, he's dominating, and he's dominating in a lot of ways. And for the Red Sox, the season starts tonight. They have to turn it around. They have to be competitive early, and this guy gives them the best chance to be competitive and actually win a game.
Yeah, they'd like to get out of the first inning with a chance. Gave up 5 runs in the first inning yesterday, and that's been a theme all year. Yankees took the first game 9-6. We're all set for game 2. We had to wait around until June for these teams to meet up for the first time, and we're set for game 2 on Baseball Night in America. Yankees and Red Sox coming up next. New York summer and a beautiful night here at Yankee Stadium. It was raining earlier today, but we're all set for baseball. Light blue skies above as Judge and the Yankees try to take the first 2 games from their longtime rival on a 71-degree night in the Bronx. Let's take a look at the lineup for the Red Sox here in game 2 with Jarren Duran to lead things off, and then Rafael Devers hitting second and DHing. This is the lineup that they sent up there against lefties. They got Refsnyder hitting third. Carlos Narvaez, who they got in a trade from the Yankees this offseason. Romy Gonzalez, another lefty killer. Abraham Toro's at third with Alex Bregman still on the injured list. Story, Rafaela, and the rookie Christian Campbell down at the bottom third of the order. Ryan Yarbrough, who spent spring training with the Toronto Blue Jays, didn't make the team. He signs a tiny 1-year contract with the Yankees and moves into the rotation at the start of May. And what a surprise he's been. 3-0 with a 2.08 since entering the rotation.
He's been a lifesaver with Cole going down. He's filling a gap, and he's doing it extremely well. He's got a great breakdown of pitches. Look, both these left-handed pitchers are hard to hit for different reasons. You're going to see literally 2 different ways to get weak or no contact.
Yeah, an interesting thing with Ryan Yarbrough, he's the softest thrower in baseball, but it's the softest contact against in baseball.
It is. He gets 2 strikes. He's tough to hit. The only hiccup, first pitch, success against him is about the only success you're going to have.
You can be sure you're going to get a strike. He throws first pitch strikes more than anybody in baseball. And the first guy to face him is Jarren Duran. Red Sox trying to get going. They've dropped 9 of their last 12. 5 games below 500 and already 10.5 back in the division. Off we go with a strike on the inside corner to Duran. Yarbrough coming off beating the Dodgers on Sunday. Went 6 innings, just 1 run allowed against one of the top offenses in baseball. 33-year-old comes home, and Duran hooks a fly ball down the line. Judge towards the corner. And foul. It's up there forever.
Yeah, the wind blew whatever rain was in the area. It was blowing out to right field, so that ball kept hooking away from Judge. And not a lot of room over there, but I don't know. I think the wall was afraid that Judge might come in and do some damage.
Started to inch its way back. So quickly 0-2 on Jarren Duran, who tripled in yesterday's ball game, scored a couple of runs. Electric player at the top of this lineup. He really made his mark last year, winning the MVP of the All-Star game. Who's the first guy in more than 50 years to lead the league in doubles and in triples.
Well, he's got so much talent, and you know, mentally he's gone through a lot. He's talked about it. He's got many different ways to get on base. He's got power, he's got speed. And playing a new position at left field this year versus center last year.
Takes strike 3. And here's the thing with Yarborough, John. This has always been a guy who's been about inducing soft contact, but the strikeouts have gone through the roof this year.
Well, you see the arm angle he throws way across his body, and he threw a floating breaking ball that looked like it was going to be outside, and it was. And then this one to the hitter feels like it's going to do the same thing, but only stays on plane and catches the corner.
Well, the boos are for Rafael Devers, who didn't waste any time getting his latest home run swing against the Yankees. Homer in the first game of this series, and now leading the majors with 56 knocked in this year.
And that's after a horrible start to the season where everybody was like, what is going on? He struck out 9 of the first 11 or something like that.
And he goes into right center field. A base hit for Devers, and extra bases here in the first inning. Into second with a double.
Yeah, the Red Sox have a strange year offensively. They don't make a lot of contact. They swing outside the zone a lot. They swing and miss a lot. But they're in the top in a lot of offensive categories that wouldn't be piggybacked on that. So they do a good job when they do put it in play. They hit it hard, and they score enough runs to make every game competitive. They just need to get out of the gate a lot earlier.
Got 6th in the majors in runs scored, as you see. And to your point, Pepper in the top of the leaderboards across the league offensively. First one to Rob Refsnyder. It is lifted to center field for Cody Bellinger. 2 gone in this first inning. But they've been boom or bust offensively. They've not been a good situational hitting team. The bigger issue has been the run prevention, whether that's the starting pitching or the defense, which has just been atrocious. And then when they found themselves in close games, 6 and 17 in one-run games, and they find themselves, like you said off at the top, season's got to start today.
Yeah.
I mean, 65 games in, but already 10 and a half back.
And what's unfair is what's fair for every club. They have a lot of injuries, and their injuries have forced a lot of young players to play, and they're going to have to learn at a high curve right now.
This is one of those guys, Carlos Narvaez, and he's not one that everybody was talking about coming into the year. He's been a revelation for him. They got him in an under-the-radar trade from the Yankees this offseason. Connor Wong got hurt early, and Narvaez getting a chance to play more, has owned that spot. Elite defense and hitting .284. Bounces this one to second for DJ LeMahieu. Yarborough pitches around the double. Crochet takes the ball for the Red Sox. What a season he's having with a sub-2 ERA. A strikeout machine tries to slow one of the best offenses in baseball. Here come the Yankees. Bottom of the first inning, up to the plate for the first time today. Here's the lineup from Aaron Boone. A little different look to it today. Volpe's out of there, got hit on the elbow yesterday, and he's day-to-day, but Peraza starts at short instead. Pablo Reyes gets a rare start at third base. Where's Jazz Chisholm? He's been the best hitter on the Yankees this week, but he gets a little bit of rest and available off the bench today against the lefty Garrett Crochet, who struck out a season-high 12 against the Braves on Sunday, and a 1.98 ERA, a shining star in this otherwise frustrating year for Boston. His first pitch of the game to Paul Goldschmidt. This is high.
Paul Goldschmidt, I had to look this up. I had to ask Rick. I've seen it. I still don't believe it. 5'10" against left-handed pitchers. He's hitting 5'10".
Yeah.
So he's saved as dominating the left-hand side of the mound.
Yeah, hits leadoff. Resurgence for him here. Really started late last season in St. Louis, but comes over to the Yankees. He's been one of the most improved guys in baseball. They're right at the heart of the story of this Yankees season, where so much of the conversation in the offseason was how do they replace Juan Soto? How good is this plan B that they had to pivot to? But in a example of you go with the superstar or several really good players, that's looked like a pretty good pivot from Brian Cashman in the front office.
Oh, absolutely. I think they did everything they had to do once they couldn't sign Soto. And they're a well-oiled machine right now.
A strikeout to begin the game for Crochet with that cutter. It's been one of the best in baseball. We take a look at Fox Foresight, powered by Google Cloud. Garrett Crochet, top 10 in the majors with that 1.98 ERA. He's third in strikeouts. Got a chance today to pass Tarek Skubal for the American League lead.
I'm going to say it goes to 73% right now.
Okay. Get your calculator out. Then Rice bounces this one back to the middle. There's Trevor Story. And there's out number 2.
Just went to 68.
It's just, come on, Google. And here comes Aaron Judge. 3 more hits yesterday. 397, 62 games into the season.
Yeah, it's amazing to me what he's been able to do and how many, we talked about it last week, closing windows of pitchers getting him out. Areas that he is laying off the pitch. And when he swings the bat, he's hitting it hard. He's aggressive, and he's hitting it where they're throwing it, and he's not so much trying to just hit it to the moon, which he can.
And still does, with 21 home runs on the year. And that what we just showed right there, John, is why this is more impressive and more amazing than I think anybody has taken the time to really consider. He's hitting 397 in an era where the average hitter is at 244. And even if he's Luis Arraez hitting 2 home runs a year, if he's hitting 397, it's eye-popping. It's 397 with as big a power as anybody in the world has.
And you know, you could say that this ballpark adds about 5 to 10 home runs a year on an average player. It doesn't matter what he plays. He's going to hit home runs anyway.
Makes them all look small. He'd hit home runs. He makes parks look like the old John Smoltz wiffle ball field.
Yeah.
Just put up in Lansing this week. Let's go.
Yeah. We would do some damage in there.
Yeah, I would say. We need to reinforce that net. He's down on strikes here. And Garrett Crochet with bookend K's and a 1-2-3 first. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Step up to the plate for savings. Yankees and Red Sox did not play until last night. That was their first matchup all year. Our very own Big Papi and Derek Jeter. 2 of the many faces of this long-time rivalry. 9-6 Yankees yesterday with a 5-run first inning. They led 7-0 after 2, and so first things first, Garrett Crochet is able to put up a 0 in the first inning, which has just been a disaster for the whole Red Sox staff this year. On to the second we go, no scores. Romy Gonzalez floats the first pitch he sees into the gap in right center field, and it'll bounce over the wall. A double on the first pitch of the inning.
You know, that's such a good piece of hitting. You can't go up there trying to pull a pitcher like Yarbrough. He'll give you some pitches to hit, but if you try to pull this ball, you're going to pop it up. You've got to go with the pitch and think about other way first, and if he drops one in, drop the barrel of the bat and pull the baseball. So for the Boston Red Sox, this approach, early aggressive but go the other way, would be better suited for them against a pitcher like this.
Leadoff man aboard, Abraham Toro up. Squares around, playing a little small ball here, fouls it off. Toro signed a minor league contract with the Red Sox and started this season in AAA. And a .220 hitter for his career, is hitting .319 to lead the Red Sox since coming up and plugging some holes because of the injuries. Corner's pinched in after he showed bunt that first pitch. This time swinging away, popping a fly ball to right field for Judge. One gone in this second inning, and we go down to the field. Say hello to Ken Rosenthal.
Joe, you mentioned earlier Ryan Yarbrough was with the Blue Jays in spring training. He had an opt-out in his minor league contract, and when he told the Jays he wanted to exercise it, they said, okay, we'll put you on the roster, but you have to give us the right to terminate your contract within 45 days. Yarbrough said, I'm not doing that. I proved myself to you guys last season. I proved myself in spring training. The Yankees made essentially the same offer, same termination clause, but he had no problem proving himself to a new team. So here he is doing kind of what Luke Weaver did a couple of years ago for the Yankees, doing more for them than they ever envisioned when they acquired him.
The Yankees, of course, saw him firsthand what he could do. First 5 years of his career with the Tampa Bay Rays. Trevor Story pops the first pitch towards the seats. Aaron Boone was telling us today, I'd sit over there and say, man, I would love to have this guy on our team. And now that he does, so these are some of his favorite days, getting to watch Yarbrough pitch.
Well, here's the reality. I know that we don't have the patience for pitchers that don't throw 98, because when they go bad, it looks worse. But they're going to be healthy. They're going to miss with the timing of the hitter.
Grounded to short. Peraza.
And you're going to get outs like that. I mean, I think our game could use more pitchers like this. Unfortunately, that's not what they're looking for. They want the flamethrowers. The flamethrowers, bad games are not going to be as bad, and when they're good, it looks even greater. And I think he's proven himself that he knows how to get to the angles, get to the corners, and what typically the reason we don't look for these pitchers, they have to come over the plate a little bit more. And when the feeling is, if they do, hitters are going to hit them.
Cedar Rafaela. With runner at third and 2 gone, takes a little bit high. It's a bigger discussion. I hate to even bring it up with 2 outs here, but when I'm a kid and I want to be a big league pitcher, and I don't think there's any chance I get noticed if I pitch like that.
That's exactly right. You're going to chase velocity, and it's flawed in the ultimate outcome, but it's not flawed in the reward to try to have an outcome. What I mean by that is your career is going to be cut short. No doubt, but you'll have a chance at a career if you're throwing harder than if you don't.
Ryan Yarbrough in his 8th season. Home with a 2-0 to Rafaela. Upstairs with ball 3. Elite defense for Cedar Rafaela. That's why they signed him to a long-term contract last year, but he's added the bat lately. Homered in 3 consecutive games this week against the Angels.
Didn't he have the shortest home run in the history of Fenway Park?
Yeah, shortest walk-off just inside the pesky pole. From Curacao, debuted at the end of 2023, signed that big contract a few days into last year. On a 3-1 from Yarbrough, Rafaela takes ball 4, and so Yarbrough pitches him carefully with Christian Campbell coming up. Rafaela, one of the younger players, but nobody younger than Christian Campbell coming up here. 22 years of age, the rookie who took the league by storm in April and won Rookie of the Month. Ask Alex Cora what's the difference between April and since, and he said the big leagues, man.
Yeah.
Big leagues undefeated.
They'll expose you. They'll get to certain trends. You have to make them change. Right now he's really struggling against left-handed pitching for whatever reason, and they will expose that. Whatever that is over the course of a season, you have to adjust, change the scouting report.
Trying to get the Red Sox on the board here in the 2nd. Swings and misses. And he's right now, Alex Cora, trying to help Campbell preserve some sanity, right? It's the first time in his life he's ever failed. Stormed through the minors last year. Was the minor league player of the year, regardless of organization. And got to the big leagues here and thrived right away. The $134 since the start of May. Punches a bouncing ball, base hit the other way to start the scoring. Christian Campbell out of the 9th spot with an RBI single to make it 1-0 Boston.
Well, the 2 hits they had in this inning, they went the other way. And that one, they were pounding him in, getting him. That's where clubs have been getting exposed in the big swing. See how he stays on the ball and keeps his head down and goes the other way. Too big of a swing, can't do that. Try to pull it, can't do that. So it's one of those hits that there's there for every hitter in the game. It's just harder for the velocity of the pitchers and the way guys swing to go and stay on the ball and go the other way.
So the Red Sox take advantage of a leadoff double from Gonzalez. They have their first lead of this series, and back to the top of the order in Jarren Duran.
He should be aggressive on the first pitch.
Here it comes. Instead of look back to 2nd.
So if you're Yarbrough thinking about that, you might want to throw a breaking ball right here. You see, with runners on, he's excelled.
Yarbrough 75% first pitch strike.
No, that's outside.
Outside with the cutter. Cutter's gone from his least used pitch last year to his most used pitch this year. Uses all those pitches, 4 or 5 that he's got. Aaron Boone said he's just getting better and better at knowing which ones to use when. Chopper left side. Reyes has it. That's the inning. Red Sox draw first blood. It's Campbell out of the 9th spot. 1-0 Boston. After 1-2-3 first inning for Garrett Crochet, Cody Bellinger starts the second for the Yankees. Crochet's first pitch is in there for a strike, and left field tonight, Jaron Duran, kind enough to wear the microphone and the earpiece for us. Hi, Jaron.
What's up, boys? How we doing?
All right. Red Sox with a 1-0 lead here. As Bellinger takes in the dirt. Hey, we're talking about up here how funky Ryan Yarbrough looks, how different he is. What's it like to stand in there and face him?
Man, it's always the lefties that got to be all nasty looking and funky looking for me. It's not the best feeling, though. I mean, he's got all these angles, good pitches. I mean, he's just a really good pitcher, man. He just knows how to pitch.
Speaking of angles, now that you're playing a traditional left field, how hard of an adjustment is it after you're playing at home against the monster and then here?
Honestly, it's a little more freeing. I don't have a giant wall behind me to
play it first, and Bellinger's there with an infield hit. In between ball there for Romy Gonzalez, and Bellinger uses his speed to start this inning.
Yeah, that one, if he had to do over again, he would have let his second baseman get it. But once he went way out past second base, Crochet really had no chance to get there. Kind of falls off to third base, and then getting to first is going to be difficult.
Gonzalez relatively new to playing first base. He said those are the plays that are the most difficult for him, deciding whether to go after the ball in right or to his right or not. Strike on Jason Dominguez. Visiting with Jaron Duran. The Red Sox get on the board with a base hit from Christian Campbell. I would imagine everybody has to be so happy to see a young kid like that have something to feel good about this weekend, huh?
Absolutely, man. I mean, I can relate to how grindy he's getting. You know, been up here, especially Yankee Stadium. You know, trying to get that first one out of the way. So I mean, the kid's a gamer, man.
Dominguez down looking. One away.
I know you guys got a young team, and you've been in the league long enough to know about this rivalry, but is there something special when you get to this stadium, even though you play 162 games in other teams?
Yeah, I mean, I still get nervous playing here, and I've played here quite a bit. It's just like knowing you're playing the Yankees, who are always good. You know, you got the fans behind you, chirping you all game, which is kind of nice, having you guys in my ear. I can't even hear them right now.
Ball one on DJ LeMahieu. Alex Cora is telling us he sometimes looks down the dugout and says, man, we are young. Do you ever look around and say, when did I become the old guy?
I think that all the time. I was like, hey, I'm still trying to figure out this game too now.
There goes Bellinger, and
he robbed them of a stolen base.
Yeah.
Smart play.
By a ball. Okay, there's a balk on. I'm sitting there thinking, what is everybody yelling about? I didn't see the signal. That's a ball. All right, so Bellinger in the scoring position. 1 ball, no strikes on LeMahieu. We had a 4-hit game on Sunday for the Yankees. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I know they're shading him up the middle, but LeMahieu, when he was right, was one of the best inside-out right-handed hitters to go to right field like a left-handed pull hitter. And there's a big space right now between the first and second baseman. I'm sure Crochet will try to bury this ball down and in on him. Tried it.
Jaron, I know you faced Crochet a few times through the years when he was in Chicago. It's got to be a heck of a lot more fun to be on his team than facing him, huh?
Oh, it's so much nicer behind him. I just remember being in the box. I knew every single pitch was going to be a battle.
What an interesting comparison, though, of lefty and Yarbrough with his funk. And I know that there's some funk here, but overpowering stuff.
Yeah, I got the two opposites right now. You got Crochet throwing 97, 98, and Yarbrough just carving you up the soft stuff.
There goes Bellinger, throw down, not in time, and he gets his stolen base after all.
It's the one element now that the Yankees last year really didn't have. They have a little bit more speed in their lineup. and he timed it up perfectly on a 3-1 pitch.
So the tying run over at third after ball 4 there to LeMahieu. First and third, and Austin Wells coming up. Wells hits a fly ball to right field. Refsnyder goes back at the wall. It's gone. Austin Wells jumps on the first pitch and puts the Yankees in front.
Talked about the aggressiveness of strikes early with fastballs, and Wells wasn't going to wait. Got one belt high, and obviously here you don't have to hit them super far.
Austin Wells, a 3-run home run, and the Yankees in front 3-1 as Pablo Reyes takes inside for ball 1. Garrett Crochet given up more than 2 runs only twice this year. On one swing, he gives up 3. You kind of think back to what Alex Cole was talking about in last night's game. Yeah, they talk about the home runs the Yankees hit, but the walks that come ahead of it to put the extra base runners on. And it was a walk to LeMahieu here that teed this one up to be a 3-run home run.
The Yankees have answered back when they've given up a run about 35% of the time. That's a high percentage of answering back when a team has scored on them.
Into center field. Rafaela going back, cruising to the track. He's got it. With Jaron, you're over in left field. You got quite a view of watching that guy run around center field. How good is he defensively?
He goes after balls. But I mean, it's nice to be able to just go after balls and knowing if he's going to get it, he's going to call me off, so I don't have to freak out about too much.
2 out. The 9-hitter Peraza takes at the top of the zone for a strike. So Peraza getting the start at short today. Mentioned off at the top, Anthony Volpe. Originally, Aaron Boone had him in the lineup today, having gotten hit on the elbow last night, but it puffed up pretty good, pretty sore today. So changed his mind on that, and Volpe day to day.
Well, we talked about last week. We were talking about homers in different ballparks and where they would be.
Yeah,
that would have been a home run in 3 parks.
You want me to guess the other 2?
You can. One is synonymous with the other.
Yeah, I was wondering, you know, because if you get it right down the line, there's no doubt, but then it begins to drift away. So Fenway's one of the others.
No, actually, Yankee Stadium and then their spring training stadium.
Old Steinbrenner Field.
And then Houston.
Strike 3 called on Peraza. Jaron, we appreciate you spending some time with us.
Thanks, boys. I appreciate you guys.
It is 3-1 Yankees after the home run from Austin Wells off Garrett Crochet. Yankees trying to keep on rolling and clinch a series win on a Saturday night. 10th home run of the season from Austin Wells has the Yankees in front as we move along to the 3rd inning, and Rafael Devers leads off against Ryan Yarborough.
No.
They're upstairs, ball 1. Doubled his first time. You were talking about him overcoming the slow start that he had, and that's not even to talk about all the drama that has swirled around Rafael Devers this year, which has been part of the backdrop to this 30-35 season for the Red Sox. 1-1.
Yeah, it's definitely, we're at the point of the season where you kind of are what you are, right? You know, you're looking for changes, especially if you're not going well. And where can those changes come from the Boston Red Sox? Well, they're going to come from the starting rotation. if they're going to get back on track, they've shown they could score runs, but they just haven't pitched well enough. And of course, defensively, maybe have some lapses that lose a lot of those one-run games, but they have to turn it around on the mound.
Starting pitchers ranked 25th. The offense collectively has actually been pretty good. Top 10 in runs scored in the majors. Devers gets hit by this 1-2 pitch, and a gift for Boston to start this third inning. So he's on against the Yankees again. We look at the Fisher Investments player profile. Last 2+ years against the Yankees for Devers, and you see the career numbers, but the last 2+ years he's hitting .379 with 10 home runs against New York.
Yeah, that's unbelievable, and he's thrived here, and he's thrived pretty much everywhere now. He's become one of those elite offensive players. Well, for Mr. Yarbrough, that's a shot in the arm to be pitching with a 3-1 lead against a great pitcher like Crochet. To get that 3-run homer, what you want to do now is come in and put up that 0 as fast as you can, because you know he's going to get tougher on your lineup as the game goes on.
Refsnyder into center field. Here comes Bellinger. Can't get there, and it bounces by him. Backed up by Dominguez. Refsnyder to second, and just like that, the Red Sox have the tying run in scoring position.
Tough play there for Bellinger. Once you sell out and dive, you're kind of totally committed. He knows probably could not have come up with this ball, and by bouncing over his head, that allows now 2 runners in scoring position and no double play threat versus a single man on first and second.
And it's Carlos Narvaez at the plate. Got out to second his first time. 26-year-old from Venezuela. Turns on this ball and hammers it down the line. Hooking, foul.
These are situations during the year when you're a starting pitcher. I used to sit back and keep track in my mind how many times a ground ball would score a run to get you 1 run closer and possibly move the runner up. And then how many times you pop it up or you don't get the job done, you put it on the next guy and he does it. These are the situations in the game for the Red Sox where they've got to score this run before there's an out. You know, even if you're trading an out against the Yankees, you've got to get this runner in right now.
On an 0-1 pitch, Narvaez takes time. I mean, you talk about the defense costing him in the 1-run losses, but a lot of times in those 1-run games, you've got to dig into the stories to find where the game was actually lost. Sometimes it can be what seems like an otherwise nondescript at bat early in the game like this. And if they win even half of the games that they've lost in those 1-run situations, this is an entirely different season at this point.
Yeah, I don't know the trends of why those seasons go with certain teams where one team wins a ton of 1-run games and another team loses a ton of them. But this is definitely a situation early in the game where it can be forgotten if he doesn't get the run in right now. Right? That's the thing about baseball. When they're sitting there for you, especially with 2 strikes, you no longer have to hit a fly ball to score or advance the runners. A ground ball to short, which is one of the easiest things for a right-handed hitter to do, would score a run.
Another 1-2 from Yarbrough. Narvaez punches a bouncing ball to first. Goldschmidt comes home with it. Play at the plate, and Devers is out.
I'm not so sure that was real good base running by Devers. That ball was hit hard, and Goldschmidt was about halfway between being halfway. And let's watch his jump. He doesn't get a perfect jump, and then Goldie throws it right to home. And that is a huge out for the Yankees. And again, talking about it, this is what the Red Sox have to reverse and change if they're going to change the narrative of their season.
Now, when you think about the optimism around these Red Sox coming into the year, this was supposed to be the year that it was all different. They had a great offseason. They get Bregman, who, to be fair, was performing at an MVP level before he got hurt. The Crochet trade, got all these young guys coming, but it's all been undermined by, first of all, the injuries, but the close losses. You talked about the strikeouts, way too many of those, and the defense just terrible. Third consecutive year they've had the most errors in the majors. And if it continues the way it's going, it's going to be a fourth consecutive year missing the playoffs altogether. Only one postseason trip in the 6 years since they won it all in 2018. So they're at first and second now with one gone. The hitter's Romy Gonzalez swatted to double the other way in the first pitch that he saw last inning.
See, baseball's a reaction game, but it's a thinking game. You think before the action. If you're sitting at third base, you think to yourself, if the ball's hit here, I'm going. Everything else you have to read and react, and that ball was hit too hard to the first baseman. There was no reason for Devers to go because it's second and third, nobody out. And unfortunately, that bad read put now the Red Sox a double play from not scoring. Infielders do the same thing. All right, they're reacting right now in their mind. If I get a ball in this position, backhand, forehand, this is what I'm going to do.
To the hole at short. Backhand Peraza goes to third, but no play, and the bases are loaded.
Perfect example. He already knew when that ball was hit to that side of his body, the only play he had was third base. Third baseman couldn't react quick enough to get to the bag to get that out. These are all the little things that go on in the mind of a baseball player, or at least they should. He knows he can't get to second, and then the third baseman is in no man's land and ends up being an infield hit.
So Gonzalez is 2 for 2, and the bases are loaded for Abraham Toro. Red Sox trying to respond immediately after the home run from Wells last inning. Toro flied to right his first time. Put together a career year so far. His first year in Boston. The 15 that he's been with the last 5 years.
No, that's up.
Takes high for ball one. Ryan Yarbrough coming off back-to-back starts of 6 innings and just 1 run. Back against the wall right here. His 1-0 pitch. Toro into center field. Here comes Bellinger. It's going to drop in front of him for a base hit. Station to station they go. A 3-2 game as Toro knocks in Refsnyder.
Well, soft contact, and soft contact got it done for the Red Sox in this inning. There haven't been bullets, but he gets a cutter in that he fights off, and Bellinger trying his best to close in, couldn't get it done. The Red Sox got that run back they desperately needed. This would have been a very empty inning had they not at least scored 1.
Looking for more now. Bases loaded for Trevor Story. Grounded to short his first time. Red Sox shortstop finally healthy, but struggling mightily. 1-0.
One of the things Ryan does real well is he throws his changeup, but it's not in the zone a lot. It's always away, and so if he can feed his fastball away and get the hitters to chase away, but it's rarely in the zone. That's what makes it so tough, because they think it's going to be in the zone and fades away.
Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Drops down, and it's hit by third and down the line. Trevor Story comes through. Red Sox take the lead right back, trying to unload the bases. Relay to the plate, not in time. A 3-run double for Trevor Story. And Boston goes from down 3-1 to back ahead 5-3, just like that.
Well, this was one of the harder hit balls in the inning, and that was a tough play for the third baseman off his glove. But then once it got in the corner, it needed a little more urgency. Good base running to score all the way from first.
4 for the Red Sox here in the third. Trevor Story comes through with a sigh of relief out there at second. Rafaela bounces one up the middle. Peraza on the move, throws him out, 2 away. And Trevor Story signed the big contract before 2022. He's in his 4th year in Boston now. He's yet to play 100 games in a season, one injury after another. Last year only played 26 games. He had the shoulder injury. While he's finally been healthy this year, he says, you know, a combination of trying to find his swing, he's just missed so much time, and trying to find that balance between not putting too much pressure on himself to make up for all the lost time, but also knowing that there's guys coming and his spot is not guaranteed.
Nope.
Inside and a ball on Campbell. This is one of those young guys right here who's come up to play second base. Got Marcelo Meyer, who's come up. He's a shortstop by trade, but is playing mostly third. Campbell's 2 for 2, and he's knocked in a pair. 6-3 Boston with a 5 spot here in the 3rd.
You never know what's going to get a player going. He stayed inside both of these hits and did a great job going to right field. Don't know if that was his approach the whole time up, but watch how perfect. He keeps his head down, barrel to the ball, even though it's off the end of the bat. That isn't a pull swing. That's a swing to go to right center, and he gets rewarded with his second hit of the game.
That has always been Christian Campbell. Before the power developed last year, he was one of the best bat-to-ball guys in the draft, coming out of Georgia Tech. Added the power last year. That took him from decent prospect to big-time prospect. And going back to what got him here in the first place, to get a couple hits in this one. And the Red Sox doing it against Ryan Yarbrough. Comes home to Jarren Duran. With a strike at the knees.
I tell you, Duran has so many capabilities to get on base. I know he won't do it here, but in situations during the year, if he'll lay down a few more bunts, with the third baseman being so far, he's not honoring that. His speed, now he wants to drive the ball with 2 outs, but I think over the course of the year, seeing him bunt more would be huge, just from a defensive standpoint, so you can draw the third baseman in and respect the fact that he'll do that.
Bullpen gets going. That's Ian Hamilton. Ryan Yarbrough had given up 6 runs in his 5 starts. He's given up 6 runs in 2 2/3 against the Red Sox today. It's a team that has always hit him hard back to his days in Tampa Bay. He's got a +7 ERA against Boston. Red Sox have batted around against him here in the 3rd. There's 1-2 to Duran. Gets him swinging, and that's the inning. But the Red Sox explode. After falling behind in the Wells home run, they get 5 runs. Bunch of offense on Baseball Night in America, and still a long way to go in the Bronx. Top of the order for the Yankees. Paul Goldschmidt takes a strike from Garrett Crochet, making his first start in Yankees Red Sox. More on Crochet, down to Ken Rosenthal.
Joe, Garrett Crochet was especially excited to pitch tonight. The last time he participated in rivalry games with legitimate intensity was in 2021 when he was with the White Sox during the White Sox-Cubs City Series. Remember, Crochet underwent Tommy John surgery in 22. In 23 and 24, the White Sox lost 100 games. Crochet said he enjoys competing in an environment bordering on toxic.
Strikes out Goldschmidt for the 2nd time today. That's already his 5th K. Now, this is a guy who is brand new, really, to starting.
Yeah.
It wasn't until last year that he was a starting pitcher, and everybody was calling the White Sox, knowing that they were the most obvious sellers maybe in baseball history, wanting to get Crochet. He misses inside to Ben Rice. They ultimately waited until the offseason to trade him. Red Sox sent 4 prospects to the White Sox to get him, and then soon after signed him to a long-term deal. 6 years, $170 million, and he's been worth every penny so far. Soft bouncer left side, cut off by Toro. 2 up and 2 down.
Well, I would say it's awfully early to have Tommy John, but they're hoping that the rest of the 6 years will be healthy, and that's what he needs to be, is healthy.
Struck out Aaron Judge the first time. Judge comes up here, but the base is empty and 2 gone in the 3rd.
good job establishing the fastball against Judge. That's where he went the first time, pounded in, ended up getting him out the way. But Aaron Judge is seeing everything in kind of slow motion. When you're having this kind of year offensively, you just are patient, mechanically sound. And every once in a while, you're going to run into a stud on the mound. And see those numbers against left-handed pitching. I would throw a right-hander against the New York Yankees.
We got the call right there. Strike two. Crochet to Judge. Fouled off.
Here's what he did the first time. Yeah, he did a great job establishing. He's not afraid to throw fastballs. Already started up, got his eyes up there, and then he got a swing and a miss, and then painted inside. And then he gave him a little bit of a changeup to kind of get him off the inside part of the plate, and it ultimately struck him out on a fastball away. Yeah, you mentioned that contract. I mean, that's a big investment without a lot of history backing that up. But what they see is a pitcher when he's on his game and on his mechanics, so tough to hit.
Backdoors a breaking ball to get Judge for the second time tonight. And there's that shutdown inning that Ryan Yarbrough couldn't get. 1-2-3 for Crochet after the 5-run top of the inning. Ryan Yarbrough's given up as many runs in this game as he did in his first 5 starts combined. Yeah, this is where last inning began with Rafael Devers. Goes after the first pitch, grounded to second. Slick play right there by DJ LeMahieu. 1 pitch, 1 out for Yarbrough. Got a win at Dodger Stadium, got himself a win and a championship ring. Started last season with the Dodgers. He said he very discreetly got the box and walked it back into the Yankees clubhouse and tucked it away in his locker. It was a little awkward given the uniform that he's now wearing. 8-year veteran, home to Rob Refsnyder with a pitch a little bit low. Refsnyder 1 for 2. Singleton scored last inning. Former Yankee. Started his career here in New York a decade ago. First couple of years spent with the Yankees, then bounced around for a few years. Been a good player for the Red Sox. His 4th year in Boston, hitting .280 this time with the Red Sox. His look at the funk of Ryan Yarbrough. A check swing and a strike, 1-2. Crafty, funky, he's 6'5", yet has one of the lowest arm slots in baseball and puts it right where he wants to when he's on. Here comes to the 1-2.
Nope.
A little bit high.
Yeah, one of the rare guys where he starts off on the third base side of the rubber, but then his stride and where he lands is going to be way to the first base side of the rubber, which gives that illusion and cross-firing effect of a fastball a little extra hot.
It's the opposite of what we're talking about with Crochet, where you got to be geared up for that 97, and so the breaking stuff's tough. Well, here there's so many different things you got to think about. The indecision then makes those fastballs look fast. Here's his payoff.
Typically, you would have a pitcher like that who had a sinking fastball that goes away from the right-handed hitters, right? But he uses that angle and that crossfire to just create another illusion.
Nope.
Refsnyder takes the walk. Well, suit up this season at MLBShop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, hoodies, T-shirts, and more at MLBShop.com. Here's Narvaez. Nine seasons in the Yankees organization. Never a big-time prospect. Got to the big leagues for 6 games last year and was with the team during the World Series run on the taxi squad and just being around learning. There was a very short amount of time that he was with the big club, but he was here enough where Aaron Boone said it was tough moving him. When they decided and got that call from the Red Sox that there was interest, that was not an easy thing. However, under the radar it might have seemed at the time. He saw some potential in Narvaez. He's gotten a shot for the Red Sox and run with it. All-star conversation as a rookie. You got Christian Campbell and you got Marcelo Meyer. You got Roman Anthony, the top prospect in baseball. But the most successful rookie for him has been this guy here off the grid. Oh, ouch. 1-2. Catcher on catcher crime.
Well, he definitely looks hitterish up there. You know, certain guys having their stance and the way that their way they approach gets the attention of a pitcher. And certainly the average and the statistics are going to do that. But his approach has got a little bit of Bogarts in there. Just a little bit of the way former Red Sox used to go up there, in my opinion, one of the best hitters in the game for the Red Sox, now with the Padres.
Has not been able to replicate that, what he was with the Red Sox since going to San Diego. There were some injuries there. But for more on Narvaez, checking again with Kenny.
Guys, this is one of my favorite notes of this season. Catching is scarce throughout baseball, but at one point this season, 8 catchers who were with the Yankees in the spring of 2024 were playing in the majors, and that didn't include Ben Rice, who also catches for the Yankees. Narvaez, of course, was one of them. Ben Rortvedt was also in that mix, but when the Tampa Bay Rays designated him for assignment, the number dropped, but only by 1.
Yeah, you got Luis Torrens, who they traded to the Mets. Jose Trevino traded to the Reds. He's having a great season in Cincinnati. And then Agustin Ramirez, a rookie with the Marlins, who was the key piece of the Jazz Chisholm trade. He's up as well. That doesn't even include Kyle Higashioka. If you run back Kenny's timeline a few months, he obviously was a Yankee too before they traded him to San Diego. Catching factory. Wow. Yankees have a director of catching named Tanner Swanson. Needs to take that list to arbitration.
Either that or open an academy.
Yeah. Here's a 2-2. And another foul. Ref Snyder at first after the walk. Second one issued by Yarborough. Having a battle against Narvaez. Another 2-2, and he gets this one by him. Third K, 2 gone in the 4th.
This one just kind of floats in and eats him up, thinking it was going to stay away, and then comes in, beats the barrel of the bat. Speaking of the barrel of the bat, we haven't been talking about the old torpedo bat since the craziness in the first 2 weeks of the season.
It's died down a little. It was all the rage for a while. Romy Gonzalez hooks a fly ball to deep left field. Dominguez goes back, and it's gone. Romy Gonzalez double single homer over the first 4 innings, having a career game at Yankee Stadium. About this guy. There was a .220 hitter for the Chicago White Sox, cast aside, picked up by Boston, and proven to be an important piece in his season plus.
Yes, right. Got the barrel of the bat out in front of that breaking ball. And I'm going to guess before I get the answer from Rick. I'm going to say that was a home run in 5 baseball fields.
I'm
5
gonna go
parks.
higher.
You're going to go higher?
Yeah.
I didn't exactly watch where it went. That's my problem.
That probably would have been a good place to start. What do we got? The list looks longer than 5, Rick. 29.
Okay, I should have watched where it went.
Take the over.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the fun game is what park was it not gone in?
Okay, Tiger Stadium. It was out of Tiger Stadium?
Camden Yards, even with the walls moved up. Or up.
I need a replay to see where that ball went so I can.
Yeah, before you make a
justify
statement
my
like that, you should watch. 1-2 to Toro. Chopper.
Oh, next inning.
Reyes. No, we're going to actually see it going to break.
All
Aaron
right.
Stoikov's got.
Let's talk about it during the break,
Look
Joe.
at this wall scraper here.
Let's see. Oh, he got it.
He got it pretty good.
No, he got it.
Yeah.
Why you should always watch it to the end.
Hey, first rule of television, see it before you talk about it.
Welcome back to Yankee Stadium here with Yankees manager Aaron Boone. Aaron, Ryan Yarbrough has been so good for you. What have you seen tonight?
Right, just not the command he's had really all year. Cutter probably not quite as sharp, and that's a really big pitch for him. And they've hurt him a little bit in the heart of the plate.
Garrett Crochet, what makes him so tough?
Man,
That's a foul ball.
deception with great stuff. I mean, you see it's real fuzzy out of his hand with the breaking ball, but then some deception in the delivery makes it tough.
Aaron, thanks a lot.
We actually asked Alex Cora before the game, who would you compare him to? And he thought about it for a minute and he said, I don't know, he's just different. It's hard to find a comparison, the combination of the physicality and the stuff, and like Aaron Boone said, the deception. As Cody Bellinger greets him with his second hit of the day to lead off his 4th.
Well, the American League's going to have a lot of great choices to start the All-Star game in Atlanta, and 2 of them are going to probably come. 2 choices will definitely come from maybe 3, and they're all left-handed. With the
we were going over this earlier.
Fried, and Rodon, and now Crochet.
Terry Skubal, Hunter Brown.
Yeah, there's American League pitchers are having some breakout seasons. Some of them, traditionally, you would think, Skubal's just taking it to another level.
Jason Dominguez here. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dominguez struck out his first time. Still just 22 years of age, which you look at that and say, wow, that's right, because he arrived so early 2 years ago at the age of 20. And then he got hurt soon after. And home plate umpire Bruce Dreckman is having a word or two with Aaron Boone, somebody over on the Yankees bench. That's James Rowson. Yeah, I don't know. Did you see the?
Yeah, he did. He warned him. He gave him a time or 2, and now
Aaron Boone and the Yankees fans get excited in anticipation of this. Prolific ejection guy. And the Yankees are saying Garrett Crochet is nasty enough without having to deal with.
he's a lefty. He threw him out lefty.
Yeah, he did. He did. It's like making the call down to the bullpen with the appropriate arm. Now, this is the natural side of the plate for Jason Dominguez, switch hitter. Righty is his natural side. But his OPS from the right side is almost 300 points lower than it is from the other side of the plate.
Hard to believe, right? I mean, that's just maybe not enough reps. Facing a lot of right-handers.
Now, that's what Aaron Boone said when we asked him before the game. He had a relatively short amount of time in the minor leagues. You don't see a ton of left-handers there. And there's a limited amount of experience from this side of the play. But he says, yeah, we figure there's a lot more in there. And that's scary because he's above 800 OPS from the other side of the plate. On a 2-2 from Crochet, fouls it off. We'll do it again. Crochet 6 Ks today. He's taken over the American League lead from Tarek Skubal. It is 2-2. He's a breaker fouled back. One shy of Mackenzie Gore for the Major League lead. Gore, the Washington Nationals. It's also the league leader in innings pitched, which is a noteworthy statement for a guy who they limited last year in Chicago, given his lack of starting experience, lack of innings overall in his career. There's his 7 Ks. He goes back to the fastball to finish off Dominguez. The pitcher profile sponsored by Wendy's, taking a closer look at Garrett Crochet out of a small town in the Gulf, Ocean Springs, Mississippi. Broke in as a reliever, dominated in that role, but then missed almost 2 full years following Tommy John surgery before getting his first chance as a starter last year. 3.58 ERA. He was an all-star, traded to the Red Sox in December, and then a long-term contract signed at the start of this season. He's in there with a strike on LeMahieu.
You got to be really strong and really good with your lower half to lay your leg way out there and kind of pitch off that soft front leg as he crosses his body and deliver. You can put a lot of stress on your arm if you're not mechanically sound with your lower half. Now throwing across his body, that's going to be with his lower half really getting the brunt, and then the arm comes whipping across, and that's that deception and velocity that's tough on hitters.
To second, and a wrong first step there from Campbell, and it's right by him. Yankees at the corners.
That's that ability to go to right field that I talked about with LeMahieu, one of the best of all time as a right-hander in Colorado, and then he came over here and had 2 really good years with the New York Yankees, and then injuries started piling up. Watch how good he is at staying inside and going the other way. And you mentioned it, kind of a bad read throw. Just couldn't pick up the ball. He didn't pick up the ball and get to the spot where the ball was going away from him.
Well, Campbell, with his struggles at the plate, has also really struggled defensively. And the Yankees have him at first and third for Wells, who hit a 3-run home run his first time. 10th of the season for him. Yankees love the way he's commanding the pitching staff and spreading.
There's going to be a couple people that go, Joe.
Yeah,
I'm going to say Google has this at 68%
to have another ejection.
That there's going to be another ejection.
Get off me, ball. This is the one that the dugout was upset about.
Yeah, and I can see it. Ball below the zone. When you get against a great pitcher, managers are going to be a little ornery anyways for their offense, and they're going to say he doesn't need any help.
Exactly. We do. We're down 5, and this guy's nasty. Bellinger at third, LeMahieu at first. Similar situation to when Wells was up his first time. He pounded that home run to right. In an 0-2 hole here, though.
No.
Lays off. They just finish off that point. They love what he's doing with the staff, but Aaron Boone says he's a better offensive player than he's shown so far. And he thinks at the end of the year, especially a couple years down the line, you're going to look and say this is one of the most well-rounded catchers in the league.
Nope.
2-2.
Well, it's going to be interesting next year. It looks like the challenge system is going to come into play, and of course there'll be a couple challenges or whatever they decide for getting the call that may not be agreed. And you know what's going to have to be interesting is managers are going to have to be tight with their players and say, can't do it on just any pitch.
Wells to left center field. Long run Rafaela not going to get there. Austin Wells on a 2-strike pitch with an extra base hit to left center field. They stop LeMahieu at third. Wells has driven in all 4 for New York.
Now, that was great hitting. I mean, he got a home run his first time, first pitch. He went up there looking for it, but he got in the hole. And again, going with the pitch, splitting the gap. Maybe didn't like a couple pitches, fouled off a tough one. But that was one of the better at-bats of the season. If you ever go into a funk, That would be one I'd watch if I were him.
And showing signs of coming to life. 2 hits yesterday, 2 hits against Crochet today. And the Yankees not rolling over. Second and third, Pablo Reyes getting ready to hit.
First swing that he gets, he cherry picks a fastball out over the middle, or maybe even a cutter. Yeah, he gets a cutter up. And then this one is away, and he stays with it.
This weekend has not been kind to pitchers. 27 runs between the teams combined in a game and a half. The Yankees can get right back into this game here with Reyes at the plate. Fly to center his first time. Former Red Sox here getting the start with Jazz Chisholm getting the day off. Strike one. Generous outside corner again. Reyes only his 6th start of the year. Sort of a mirror image of yesterday's game. One of the teams taking a big lead, the other punching back though. Yankees are up 7-0 yesterday, had to hang on 9-6.
No.
Ball 2.
Everything about pitching is timing. Same thing with hitters. Hitters have timing mechanisms that get them ready to hit. Watch how violent the leg that gets kicked out and then back in position to deliver the pitch.
Chopper left side from Reyes. Story's throw is in time, but another run comes in and an RBI for Pablo Reyes. Second of the year for him, 8-5.
So see, you've got to be in really good shape to repeat this over and over again, because you're actually getting your leg. Look how straight that leg goes. Then he gets a little bit of a dead leg and then drive. Those kind of motions to throw off the hitter, and you tell yourself as a hitter, don't look at the leg, look at the arm. But when you're that tall and the leg's that long, you're going to see a lot of it.
What am I supposed to do?
You're going to see a lot of it.
He's 6'6", 250. To have that kind of body control still.
No.
And
Ball on Peraza.
And the reason there was second and third, he went out of the windup because it's more effective out of the windup. It's still a leg kick out of the stretch, but not as the rhythm's different.
You talk about no matter how much there is to look at, that's one of the reasons to not pitch the windup, because it's another look, and a lot of times it's the harder look to pick up.
Absolutely, and that's why he's so effective out of the windup.
Ball's behind Peraza, 2-1. Top of the order, Paul Goldschmidt next. Yankees with 2 here in the 4th. Wells at second, 2 out. 2-1 pitch. Base hit to left field for Peraza. Duran's up with it. Wells stops at third. And the Yankees get the tying run to the plate in this slugfest.
I'm going to show you why he got that hit here in a second. He was so far off of second base, looked like he was going to steal, that the third baseman went back to the bag. And by going back to the bag and take him out of position, look right there. Now the third baseman's already gone out of our picture, and he's got to dive back to get that ball. Had he not been trying to get to third base thinking there was a stolen base, easy play, and that's the difference right now, and the rally still goes. He thinks I got to get to third, and then the ball's hit, base hit.
It's like a modified version of a hit and run and hit. Strike on Goldschmidt, who has struck out both times in this game.
The only downside for the runner is he started to go back a little bit to second.
Cost him the ability
to score. It's kind of washed itself out. It would have been an out. Yeah. Instead, it's a hit.
Toro is in position this time, and that's the inning. Yankees, though, get 2 back, 8-5 to the 5th. All kinds of offense in this game as Trevor Story goes up there to lead off the 5th. Make your favorite players all-stars. Scan the QR code to cast your 2025 Pro Spirit MLB All-Star Ballot daily, or visit MLB.com/vote. Got a pretty good feeling that guy's going to be there. Aaron Judge. Story stands in to lead off this inning. Bottom third of the order for the Red Sox. They're into the Yankees bullpen. This is Yeri De Los Santos. Who's in there with the first pitch. The Yankees bullpen has been really good again. Numbers skewed a little bit because of the rough start from Devin Williams, but he too has smoothed it out lately.
Nope.
Sinker, slider, changeup. You see a lot of sinkers. A high percentage, about 75% of sinkers to right-handed hitters.
Story pokes on foul. And a bases clearing double his last time. Adding to these totals this series, teams combining to hit 321 and 16 extra base hits. Two and two. Trevor Story, 6 seasons in Colorado, was an all-star twice, won a couple Silver Sluggers, and a big contract with the Red Sox, and we'd love for him to tap into a little bit of what he did there. Floats his ball to right center field. Back goes LeMahieu. He's there with an over-the-shoulder catch for the first out of the fifth. Let's go to L.A. and check in with Chris Myers.
Hey, Joe, a meeting of Central Division leaders. Tigers Cubs, Seiya Suzuki with a 2-homer game. He's got 16. Pete Crow Armstrong hit his 17th. They're second and third in the NL and RBI. Cubs get their 40th win. Back to John Smoltz and Joe Davis.
Yeah, both those teams having great seasons. Tigers the best record in baseball, as Rafaela takes away for ball one, and the Cubs, a team that a lot of people thought would be good, I think better than good to this point.
What if I told you that there are 3 teams that lead their division by the most games? 2 of them played today. Cubs and Tigers. Tigers have been in first place 57 games, with the Yankees and the Cubs at 53 each going into today.
Chris is telling us about PCA, who we knew was an exciting, fast, good defender, but he's added the offense to the equation this year, and that's one of the most valuable guys in the league.
Yeah, I didn't see the offense coming as far as the homers. Like, I knew he was fast and get a lot of triples, doubles, but he's added that homer component, and the Cubs are look for them to be very active, I think, in the second half.
Bruce took a foul ball off the mask. We're goodness looked at.
It's been a streaky season for a lot of teams that came out of nowhere, and all of a sudden, the Cardinals got back in the mix. You've got the Astros got hot. You got Minnesota winning a ton. There's a bunch of strange, and then of course you got teams going the other way, like the Atlanta Braves, which has been a historic bad last 2 weeks.
Yeah, how about the last few days? Wow, that'll drive you out of baseball. Blew a 6-run lead a few days ago, and then traveled across the country and blew leads.
Back to back,
lost end of the game to the Giants. The Braves have dropped 6 in a row now. They're 12.5 games out. Acuna's been awesome, but 3-9 since he's come back.
Oh, that got him.
It's a strike. I thought he got the bat. Did he get his arm? Oh, okay. I heard that got him. Apparently the bat is a him. We're talking about the Cubs, and you mentioned the Cardinals. It's the Cardinals with the best record in baseball the last month.
It's been unbelievable. I mean, they've gotten some great pitching. Sonny Gray's having a great year, and of course they've shut down the Dodgers the last 2 games. One of the best offenses in all of baseball.
Walk for Rafaela. And then in the American League East, the 2 teams threatening the Yankees are the 2 teams that you figured would not be the threats. Tampa Bay and Toronto have been as hot as anybody. Toronto winning again earlier today, their 4th consecutive win. They're 9th out of their last 10. Tampa Bay fell 11-10 today to the Marlins, but they've still won 13 of their last 17. Christian Campbell, runner goes first pitch, throw down from Rice or from Wells, not in time, and a stolen base for Rafaela.
What a slide that was. That ball got out of the glove. And I mean, he's safe because of the slide. Watch how good he avoids the tag, gets way out to the outside and gets the hand in before they can put in the tag.
This is a guy who had some steals last year. He had 19, but he was caught 10 times. That's his 8th stolen base this year, and he's not been caught yet.
I'm just glad we're talking about stolen bases again.
Love it, man. Rate's gone up each of the few years that the new rules have been in place, limiting pickoff throws, made the bases a little bit bigger, the distance a little bit shorter. It's a fun part of the sport that's been brought back in. One ball, one strike on Christian Campbell, who's got 2 hits and 2 runs batted in today, going the other way a couple times against Ryan Yarbrough. Oh, man, that was a square hit. And a mask of Wells.
It's one of the toughest positions to play in our sport because of that and because of every other area that they could foul a ball off. I know the technology and the equipment has gotten so much better, but not easy. Speaking of stolen bases, we had a stolen base game in Michigan. On our in-ground pool, we would play where the runner was parallel with the pitcher that was on the diving board with his back to him. Second baseman was in the shallow end in the pool, and the umpire had a mask in the pool. And then you take off running, and you can dive in and slide any way you want in the pool. Umpire would go down, and we'd wait for him to come back up out of the water to see safe or out. We did that for hours.
Wow. Goggles or no goggles?
Goggles for the umpire.
Okay, good.
You could see clearly.
Yeah.
And then if you had a bad jump, you just tried to take out the second baseman in the air.
Back then you could. Different time. So Wells stays in. Campbell swats it foul. Tough half inning for the masked men.
And see, that's the difference. The style of equipment that the umpires have exposes them to one side of the plate, whereas in the old days they had that big chest protector and they sit right behind the catcher.
Campbell takes strike 3. 2 out. But these days they're taught to set up between the catcher and the hitter. Back to the top of the order here, and Jarren Duran, who is hitless and 3 times up. Red Sox with 8 runs, even though their spark plug at the top of the lineup hasn't contributed yet. A lot of talk about Jarren Duran being a trade piece. And who would have thought we would be at this point already in early June talking about the Red Sox being sellers. But in a market where there aren't great clear sellers, and it usually takes a little longer before that becomes clear, but Red Sox could get a haul if they decided to go that route. It's just nobody wants to hear that given the last few years and given the hype coming into this season. If they do, though, it'll be everybody calling for this guy.
That's awful.
Couple years going back and forth between the big leagues and AAA. Last 2 years, though, a .290 hitter. Power and speed combo. Jarren Duran.
No.
Head 2-0. Out of Southern California to Long Beach State. One of the teams that's been made known that have already inquired about him, the San Diego Padres. He's ahead 3-0. Padres have had some of the worst production in left field of any team in baseball, and yet there they are, right near first place. They have a chance to move into a tie with the Dodgers. They lead the Brewers 1-0 right now in the 6th.
I never thought we'd be talking about the same vein about possible trades. if the year keeps going like it's going for the Texas Rangers and they don't find any offense, that is one of the biggest puzzling. That pitching staff's really good. They struggle to score runs. They're 6.5 games out of first. Still okay.
Walk for Duran. I'm with you. When we were talking about that last week, I want to make a retraction already a week later. I said I think the Rangers still make a run in that division, but gosh, 60 games into the year and they just can't hit.
It very puzzling to the point where that would not have been the narrative that you would have thought you were talking about for the Texas Rangers 2 years removed from their championship.
You know what, though? It's also a good time to look back to this time last year when the New York Mets were still 10 games below 500, and they were the laughing stock of the National League again. They wind up going to the championship series. The Tigers, who made a return to the postseason, they were below 500 at this point. And so for the Boston Red Sox, there is recent examples of hope. And you can look at the one-run losses as well and say, here's proof that we're a better team than our record shows. A few of those games tip the other way. The record's going to reflect that. They're going to get healthy. You're going to have Alex Bregman coming back hopefully sooner rather than later. And the pitching staff should pitch a heck of a lot better than they have.
It should. Yeah, it certainly can't continue at the rate it's currently been the last 2 weeks, putting the team too big a hole.
Devers doubled in the first inning. A couple of ducks on the pond here with 2 away. First one from De Los Santos, and he comes out ripping at it. Ninth year with the Red Sox for Devers. Got another 9 on his record contract. Grounds this spot a second, and DJ LeMahieu. And we are halfway home in the Bronx. 8-5 Red Sox. 2, 3, and 4 coming up. That means Aaron Judge when you come back. Well, the Yankees have chipped away against Garrett Crochet. 8-5 game to the bottom of the 5th. 2, 3, and 4 coming up here. Ben Rice leads off. One of the reasons the Yankees feel like they are much deeper this year. The emergence of this guy got his shot with Giancarlo Stanton starting the season on the injured list. They got to see some flashes of what Rice can bring last year when he came up. The overall numbers were not good, but they saw some of the pop. And then Aaron Boone said he walked into spring training and they're like, whoa, he looks much more physical and he has hit the heck out of the ball all year.
Yeah, it's interesting when young players, especially powerful young players, come to this park. And what does this park do to their mindset? You know, it's a short porch down each line. You know, what comes to mind is like Jazz Chisholm. You heard the statement lately about trying to play at 70% because it's so easy to try to get into pull mode and try to hit 50 home runs. You know, and you still got to be able to line the gaps.
Cody Bellinger was talking about it. He got off to a really rough start, and that's one of the things that he had to battle with. You know, besides, okay, I'm the guy sort of replacing Juan Soto. You then have that wall calling to you like a siren out there in right field. Little tapper. Crochet says that he's got it. Gonzalez changes directions and gets back to the bag, and it's an adventure over there with Romy Gonzalez. And they do get the first out. And it brings up Aaron Judge, who Crochet has attacked with fastballs.
He has. He's done a nice job showing him enough strikes, but then getting him out the first time away and then getting him out in the zone on a breaking pitch. So, look, when you're facing the hottest hitter in the game, you got to be on your game. And even though he's given up 5 runs tonight, he has pitched Aaron Judge perfectly.
That was StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. Players coming together here.
I think they're checking to see if he fouled it off his. Did he see if he fouled it off his body?
New York is challenging that there was catcher's interference.
Catcher's interference. Okay. The ball came off the bat weird. Something seemed weird when the ball was hit. I don't know if it'll be easily detected, but the catcher right there knows exactly what happened, so he's either going to tell his pitcher, and it looks like it could have been, he's going to tell his pitcher what's going on. It came off really weird. It didn't look like the ball and the bat were connected. I guarantee you there's two people that know for sure. It's the catcher and the hitter.
Let's just be honest, boys, and cut out the fat and get this over with.
Catcher's interference. The batter will be placed at first base, and New York will retain their challenge.
All right, so Rice is aboard to start this inning ahead of Judge.
I knew when he went to the mound, started talking to his pitcher, he's already setting them, getting his pitcher ready for saying, hey, there's going to be a man on first, and we're going to have to face Judge here.
All right, let's see how he attacks him this time. It is a fastball. There's only 2 hitters in the American League that see fewer fastballs than Judge overall, which shines even a little more light on how unique this attack is from Crochet. Throw down to first, bounces in there. Judge at 393. The fastball, 1-2. Crochet strikes out Judge for the 3rd time tonight. Earning his Red Sox stripes by doing that alone.
It's been a clinic so far. He's basically saying, here it is. Try to hit it. First pitch right down the middle, just misses it, hits it up. Then he gets a call on the outside part of the plate to lead to that 2-strike pitch up, swing and a miss.
Strike on Bellinger. The 5th 3-strikeout game of the year for Aaron Judge. First one since mid-May. Bellinger's 2 for 2, has scored a pair of runs. Bouncing ball to first. Gonzalez steps in the bag. Tag play at second. In time, a double play. So Garrett Crochet able to face the minimum after the catcher's interference. And after 5 at Yankee Stadium, Sox by 3. Until this weekend for these teams to face off for the first time this year. Going to make it back-to-back weeks as the scene shifts to Boston and Fenway Park next weekend on Baseball Night in America. Joe Davis, John Smoltz, Ken Rosenthal. 8-5 lead for the Red Sox as Rob Refsnyder takes strike 1 from Yuri De Los Santos. 1 out of 2 in this game. Big inning for the Red Sox was the 3rd when they got 5 against Ryan Yarbrough. Refsnyder had a single and a run scored in that inning. Bounces this ball to straightaway short. Oswald Peraza for the first out of the 6th. Carlos Narvaez. Talk about him making a case for the All-Star game. I think the spot is pretty much locked up, at least the starting spot for the American League catcher. Cal Raleigh leading the major leagues in home runs.
Man. You don't see guys sign that big contract and right away just kind of hit it right away. That's just a great start to the season. Seattle, of course. Man, if they could score runs, think of what they could be. Their pitching staff, even though a little banged up, had some injuries.
Cal Raleigh, one of the great nicknames, Big Dumper. mean, all catchers. All that squatting they do. It's 1-2 on Narvaez. Got him with a high fastball. 2 up and 2 down in the 6th inning. Time for Fox Foresight again, powered by Google Cloud. Romy Gonzalez coming to the plate with a chance for the cycle. A 2.3% chance.
So you're saying I got a chance?
And he's got a chance. He has 4 triples in his career. Thanks to Google Cloud for powering those real-time insights. Although Yankee Stadium, the hardest park in the majors this year to triple in. So I'm saying there's a chance, but it's been 7 years since the Red Sox set a cycle. Brock Holt, remember, did it against the Yankees in the division series. 0-2. De Los Santos trying to pitch the first 1-2-3 inning of the game for the Yankees. Here's his 0-2. Punch to first. Goldschmidt on to De Los Santos, and he retires the side in order in the 6th. Stream every out-of-market big league game plus MLB Network 24/7. Now available at a new low price, $119.99. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Garrett Crochet misses with his first pitch to Jason Dominguez in an 8-5 game here in the 6th. Crochet now the American League leader in innings pitched, and a guy they've had to have go deep every time he's taken it, given the way the bullpen has been taxed lately. Crochet taking a lot of pride in being that workhorse. Dominguez to right center field. Rafael to the track to put it away for the first out of the 6th. So what have you been doing the last few days, Bob?
I've had an incredible week opening up this incredible stadium. Pitched 9 innings in this brand new strikeout baseball stadium in Lansing, Michigan, my hometown. We are going to change the landscape of baseball. It's pickup baseball, 5-on-5 to 1-on-1. I couldn't be prouder. It was the greatest week I've had during a season, and can't wait for the kids in that city to use that park.
DJ LeMahieu takes a strike from Crochet. How's the wing feel?
It is sore, and it barely could use a fork this morning.
Yeah?
Yeah, my shoulder is absolutely awful, but I wanted to pitch in that stadium and threw a lot of... it's a rubber ball that they use in that stadium.
Okay.
So, and the cool thing about it is, you know, when you think about all the other sports, it's easier to play pickup basketball, pickup soccer. You can't really play pickup baseball. No running. All the hits are on the wall, or if it gets by the fielders. And like I said, 5-on-5 to 1-on-1. It's going to be a blast.
In your hometown of Lansing, Michigan.
Yep.
Can we expect to see these in other towns eventually?
I sure hope so. I think it's going to catch on, and I hope we get more baseball fans because of it.
Mayhew tries to lay off, but he went around. Strike 3. Crochet with his 9th K. Man, this is as impressive of an outing where you've given up 5 runs as you're going to find.
Especially when you get shocked and give up that 3-run homer when your team is scuffling and struggling and you got a 1-run lead. Not that you expect a 1-run lead to hold up, but the team bounced back and scored 5 quick runs after that, and he has, you know, he's held them to only 2 runs since then. So it's never an easy park to pitch in, especially if you're power pitcher that could be a fly ball pitcher.
This has been the thorn in his side tonight, though. Austin Wells has knocked in 4 of their 5 runs with a home run and a double. Ks the last 3 starts for Garrett Crochet. He's taken over the major league lead. He passed Scuba tonight, passed Mackenzie Gore. Deals 2-0. Strike 1. And you see the size, the physicality. Alex Cora saying you think this guy's going to just bully you, and there is some of that, but he's also cerebral. perfectionist when it comes to his craft and his preparation, the way he studies pitchers, and even as good as he's been early, you ask him and he says, I feel like I've been a little bit off for a lot of the years. Still trying to find those margins where I can get better. And this is a guy with a 1.98 ERA talking.
Well, the one area of the plate that he's dominated the last game against the Atlanta Braves, he gave up 1 run in the first inning, nothing more, was inside the right-handers. That's been probably the area he hasn't been as good, where he totally will shut a team down.
Wells flies it to right. Refsnyder to finish off a 1-2-3-6. 9 Ks for Garrett Crochet. 8 runs of support, done with 6. Well, Garrett Crochet gives up 5 runs for the first time in a Red Sox uniform, but he's in position to win this game with another high strikeout performance. 32 of them his last 3 games. 6, 7, and 8 coming up here. It's Abraham Toro to lead off against Thierry De Los Santos, who's delivered a couple scoreless relief innings to keep the Yankees in this game. Top of the zone for a strike on Toro.
And he's been pouring in that sinker. 24 of the 31 coming before that pitch, so now 25 of 32 with that sinker.
Not to stir it up. For Red Sox fans who are clamoring for Roman Anthony to be in the big leagues yesterday, he hit a 497-foot grand slam tonight for Worcester.
497?
497. #1 prospect in the Boston system. Some people have him as the #1 prospect in baseball. Dribble back to De Los Santos. Toro the first out of the inning. It's complicated though in trying to find a spot for Rosenthal.
It is, but that conversation is continuing as well it should. That home run tonight, the grand slam, went 116 miles per hour as well as 497 feet. Joe, you mentioned earlier the possibility of trading Jarren Duran. The only reason that is a discussion is because they have Anthony coming. Now, Duran has 3+ years remaining of service. He's not a guy you'd want to trade otherwise. But the question, as you said, is how do you find a spot for Roman Anthony? One way would be to move Ceddanne Rafaela back to the infield. He can play shortstop or second base. Trevor Story, though, 2 years at $25 million each after this season with a $5 million buyout. That's a lot of money left. You're not going to give up on him. Christian Campbell at second. He has been struggling tonight, the 2 hits, but he's got a $60 million extension. At some point, though, this issue is being forced, and it has to be addressed by the Red Sox. It's just a matter of time before we see Roman Anthony.
The whole thing is so disjointed with Boston. And it goes back to the lack of communication with Devers. Base hit the other way for Story, who's having a nice night. You've got, you bring Bregman in, and of course it's a good move. You don't argue it, but Devers felt like the rug got pulled out from him a little bit. He didn't see it coming and was not happy moving to DH. So when first base became open, when Tristan Casas got hurt, he said no, because he felt burnt by what had happened during spring. Now, you can choose a side, take whoever side you want, but the point is, it's a disjointed situation in a couple different ways on this roster right now.
And I would say uncharacteristically for the Red Sox, right? Because of what they've done in the last 10 years. But
Rafaela up the middle. LeMahieu feeds on to second, and Peraza to first, a double play. How about it tonight from De Los Santos, keeping the Yankees in this ballgame. 8-5 lead for the Red Sox, trying to tie this series off at a game apiece. Big 5-run third inning for them. The difference, and Garrett Crochet, even though he gave up 5, struck out 9 and is in position to win this game.
Yeah, he's in position, and I wouldn't think you thought giving up 5 runs he'd be in that position, but 3-run lead. And now what's important for the Red Sox, solve the issue that has not been a great one, and that's the blown leads. They got to find a way to lock it down for tonight's start.
Player Resume sponsored by Indeed. His final line tonight, those runs, the most that he's allowed this season, but piles up the K's again. Hands it off to the bullpen, which has had to cover a lot of ground the last week especially, as we welcome it back to the Bronx. 24 innings the last 4 games for the Boston bullpen. Early exit after early exit. Buehler yesterday, Giolito the day before that. Richard Fitz sent back down to the minors after a short start of his own against the Angels. So Weisert's going to come out of the bullpen. He's been one of their top guys the last couple of years, facing his former team. And he's going to face a pinch hitter. Jazz Chisholm will pinch hit for Pablo Reyes. Well, Chisholm missed a month with an oblique injury, and this guy knows how to make an entrance, doesn't he? His first 4 games back, he's got 8 hits, including 2 home runs. Same guy that last year had 4 home runs in his first 4 games from the Bronx after the trade. And you were touching on this earlier. He's the guy who is wired to be explosive and to do everything fast. Sometimes that becomes out of control. He said going down to the minors was a nice reminder for him of how to kind of play the game in a rocking chair, how to play it nice and easy, let it happen. 70% was the term that he used because he's talented and explosive enough where the ball still flies when he does that.
Yeah, he has that electricity off his bat, the swing, the power, and the energy to play at 150%. So this stadium, this crowd, this atmosphere, really this game, you can end up doing some things you're not really characteristically going to help your ball club if you don't play under control.
You hear the hand from this crowd. This has been a mutual adoration. Chisholm loving playing for the Yankees, and more these Yankees fans are loving what he's bringing. The 8-5 game, bottom of the 7th. Jazz Chisholm pinch hitting and taking strike 1 from Weissert. Aaron Boone today compared him to Ken Griffey Jr. in terms of his just baseball freakishness.
He said the ball jumps off his bat in batting practice. He can go to straightaway center with ease. So, you know, timing and everybody getting, when you're healthy and you're swinging and he's doing his thing, I think this ball club benefits from his energy and speed and athleticism.
Down quickly here. Weissert pumps 96 by him, striking him out on 3 pitches.
Got that lower 3/4 arm action, kind of upshoot fastball with a good tight breaking ball from a lower angle. Going to be tough on right-handers. Ball's going to look like it's coming at this front hip.
Now it's Peraza, the 9-hitter, who's 1 for 2, taking a strike from Weissert. Weissert was an 18th round pick of the Yankees out of Fordham. He didn't make it to the major leagues until he was 27. Didn't really stick in the major leagues until he was 29. Key piece of this Boston pen, though. Over in the Alex Verdugo trade before last year.
I mean, those are 2 nasty fastballs that he's going to probably throw that breaking ball off that. He should throw the breaking ball off that outside corner. And I would think that he has no chance to stay off this pitch.
Wow. Sinker just nosedives to get strike 3. Back-to-back Ks for Weissert.
He's got a chance for the immaculate inning, doesn't he?
6 pitches, 6 strikes. Paul Goldschmidt at the plate.
Google has that at 1.9%.
Nope. Oh, 0.0%. Goldschmidt 0 for 3.
I know this is not fair to do, but to show you how great of a year Aaron Judge is having and Paul Goldschmidt for his portion portion of the season. You take those two guys away from the lineup, and the Yankees are hitting .223 as a team. That's how good of a year Mr. Judge and even Mr. Goldschmidt have had for the Yankees.
Still, though, feels a whole lot longer, the lineup.
It does. And it's just more athletic. I think Bellinger is a great ad. He's having a nice, transition to the big city from Chicago. And of course, there are going to be others that get hot. Volpe's starting to show what he can do at the plate.
No.
They're going to have some interesting decisions coming up as Stanley gets healthy.
Yeah, it's a good decision to have, but I just think that what they did after not signing Soto, I believe was about as good as they could have done.
Of course, added Bellinger, added Goldschmidt. Look at the pitching staff, how good Max Fried has been. Devin Williams, a rough start, but he's been one of the best relievers in baseball for a half-decade and finds himself back in the closer spot with Weaver on the injured list. Here's a payoff from Weissert to Goldschmidt, and he strikes out the side in the 7th. Greg Weissert against his old club sends this game to the 8th. Game summary is sponsored by Coors Light. We welcome it back to Yankee Stadium. Red Sox with a 5-run third as they try to tie this series at a game apiece. 9 Ks from Garrett Crochet tonight over his 6 innings of work. To the 8th we go. Joe Davis, John Smoltz, Ken Rosenthal, Mark Leiter Jr.'s on the pitch, and David Hamilton to pinch hit for Christian Campbell.
On that split finger fastball last year, virtually unhittable. A little more mortal this year, hitting 200 against it. Last year under 100 against that split finger.
From the Cubs at the deadline last year. Struggled during the regular season after the trade. He hit his stride in the postseason in his first full year in the Bronx. Hamilton off of the bench, waits on an 0-2 and leaves it very high. 1-2 for the Red Sox here. Chisholm, after pinch hitting, remains in the game at third. Swing and a miss and one gone in this 8th inning. It is the anniversary of Alex Cora's big league debut 27 years ago, June 7th, 1998, for the Dodgers in Seattle against the Mariners and against his big brother Joey, who was playing second base and was struggling throwing at that time. And Alex, the new kid, spoke up in the hitters meeting that day and said, "Hey boys, if you hit a ball to second, make sure you run hard because that second baseman might throw it away."
He was trying to get some street cred, but I wonder if he went around and said, "Please don't tell anybody I told you this."
Circle of trust, right?
Yeah.
Alex came off of the bench that day, took strike 3 called. I said, how do you take strike 3 in your big league debut, your first at bat? He said it was inches off of the plate. I had no shot. Ball through for Jaron Duran's first hit of the game.
All right. I got one for you.
Okay.
And for Rick. How many brothers played in the league and had sons that play in the league? Can't think of it. Like, I want to say, has that ever happened? I'm sure it probably has, because whenever I think something's never happened, it's happened, but that's what you have with the Lighters.
I can think of brothers who had a dad, but the other way around, the brothers, one has a son and the other has
Right.
Or, then you have a dad and an uncle.
Yeah, you had the Boons, which go the other way, keep going.
Tree gets wider as
Right.
But yeah, going one on Rafael Devers. Stumped Rick too. I don't know how you search that.
Yeah, that's got to be tough.
I mean, AI these days can do just about anything. Might have met its match.
The brothers part has happened.
Yes.
That's, we know for sure, has happened many times. But the brothers having sons who both play in the big leagues, I'm going to say that's the rarefied air. Jack Leiter, son of Al.
They have a 3.48 ERA. The Texas Rangers. Devers down swinging, 2 gone in this 8th. And a pinch hitter being sent up here for Rob Refsnyder. Alex Cora had his lefty mashing lineup in there today with the righty now on the mound. And later, it's Wilyer Abreu to pinch hit for Rob Refsnyder. Abreu is part of the first wave of young guys. He came up last year, had a big rookie season, won a Gold Glove in right field, and he was second among American League rookies in OPS. Astros minor leaguer. They got him in the Christian Vasquez deal at the deadline a few years back. Followed up that big rookie season with 2 home runs on opening day. He was hitting .400 2 weeks into the season, but it's down to .249.
I'm just going to settle it right now and say it's never happened. So
that the Lighters are the first.
I'm going to stick my neck way out and say that it's never happened in the era of live baseball that we can research. And
it was actually easier to Google than I thought it would be.
And I'm going to take it a step further.
You are right, by the way.
If I happen to be wrong, I was going to say it's got to be the only time all 4 were pitchers.
Well, that is also true. You were right twice. That does it for the Red Sox in the 8th. They've got Rice, Judge, and Bellinger coming up down 3. Aaron Boone before the game today, the guys still get up for this rivalry. Does it still carry what it did when you were here? He said, well, when I came, it was right in the middle of it. And he said, still, though, our guys, they want to go out there with a little extra edge. And, yeah, there's still something to it. We're down 3 here. Right guys coming up as Ben Rice takes ball 1 from Justin Wilson, who's having a nice first year in Boston.
Well, the reality is, without him saying it, they want to put that distance way, way between those 2 teams, right? In these next 6 to 7 days, you're going to have that back-to-back series and weekends. And when you're in first place, you always want to increase your lead. And if you're playing your arch rivals, you really want that lead to go.
10.5 coming into tonight. The lead over the Red Sox. Wilson misfires with his first 2, and now ball 3 with Aaron Judge on deck and Cody Bellinger to follow. Red Sox got 5 runs in the 3rd inning to go up 6-3. Both teams are 2 in the 4th, nothing since. Four-pitch walk. Aaron Judge happy to have anybody other than Garrett Crochet in this game.
Yeah, he saw a lot of nasty pitches and pitches above the zone, which typically is how you would get Aaron Judge out, but he hasn't been swinging at a lot of those pitches. And now he's facing another lefty, but a much different lefty. Whitlock.
100 games left in this season for the Yankees. Aaron Judge is the first guy with 20 or more home runs and an average this high at this point of the season since Rogers Hornsby had these numbers 100 years ago in an MVP season in 1925 in St. Louis. Ball 5.
Said about a superstar, look, he's checked in every area. He's learned how to get his body ready. He's learned how to play when his body's not great or 100%. So he's learning all the things to navigate the season that takes 150 or more games to be played.
On a 2-0 pitch, Judge jumps out of the way. It's a wild pitch. Rice up to second. 7 pitches, 7 balls from Justin Wilson. Trying to extend an 8 or 17 game on base streak. Walls closing in a little bit on Wilson here. Crowd feeling it. Yankees hunting a comeback in the late innings. Down 8-5. 4-pitch walk to Rice. And now a 3-0 count on Judge.
Yeah, one thing you can't do when you come into a game is obviously search for your first strike in the second batter. 7, 8 pitches in now. That's bringing the tying run to the plate if he gets on.
On a 3-1 pitch, Aaron Judge cracks one the other way. Abreu towards the corner is there for the first out. Rice heads for third. Abreu's throws cut off. And it brings up Cody Bellinger. He's been one of the best lefty-lefty hitters in baseball this year. He's got a good day going today against another lefty. Had 2 hits, scored a couple runs against Crochet. First one from Wilson. Close.
Well, he's been on a hot roll, had Wilson. Previous 15 appearances, only 1 earned run. But not connected right now with the strike zone and his fastball.
Only 2 strikes out of his first 10 pitches. This 1-0 to Bellinger. He's downstairs. Jason Dominguez on deck. Severe reverse splits this year for Bellinger. The former MVP, Cody Bellinger, takes inside, 3-0. Second 4-pitch walk of the inning. And the Yankees get the tying run up there. Instead of Alex Cora, it's Andrew Bailey, the pitching coach. Well, tomorrow it's the UFL playoffs. Michigan battles defending champion Birmingham at 3 o'clock Eastern on ABC. And then at 6 Eastern on Fox, DC, and St. Louis. UFL Conference Championships tomorrow on ABC and Fox. So it's Jason Dominguez from the side of the plate we were talking about earlier. Aaron Boone and the Yankees are just waiting for him to hit his stride out. Natural swing this side. The numbers from the left side of the plate far better than they are from here this season. Tying run at the plate in the 8th. Wilson to Dominguez. A swing and a miss. 6 home runs this year for Dominguez. 3 of those came in one game in Sacramento. There goes Bellinger. Pitches a strike, throw down, not in time. And a chance with a base hit to draw to within 1. Second steal of the game for Cody Bellinger.
Big stolen base. It takes that double play out of play, especially for a ground ball. You can still get a double play line drive, but Bellinger has been active on the bases.
Wilson home with an 0-2.
No!
Check swing. No swing. So the screws hurted from both sides tonight. Hitting coach for the Yankees, James Rowson, was ejected earlier. And now it's Alex Cora sharing his displeasure.
Yeah, I mean, he did go, but.
So now 1-2 pitch in the dirt, blocked down by Narvaez. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Jason Dominguez. Martian, as they call him, representing the tying run in the 8th. The 2-2. Got him with the high fastball. Big strikeout for Justin Wilson.
Well, mentioned what he's done coming into this outing, but he has made it awfully hard on himself. He's one at bat away from wiggling out of what really started poorly for throwing strikes.
It's TJ LeMahieu's got a hit and a walk in this game. Time is called. There's some debris on the warning track. Bucket of something. French fries. Oh no.
That should be a crime right there. Tell you what, if they were chicken fingers, Rick would be really mad.
He'd be out there eating them. The Yankees have trailed since the Red Sox scored 5 runs in the 3rd inning. 8-5, last of the 8th. Second and third, 2 away. Wilson to LeMahieu. Ground ball, base hit, center field. Here comes Bellinger. Throw from Rafaela. Sails home. It allows LeMahieu to tug for second. He's in there safe. It's a 1-run game, and the tying run is in scoring position because of the overthrow from center.
Yeah, that's a rookie mistake there. It's not the tying run he's trying to throw out. It's the tying run he's trying to prevent from getting to second base.
And he had no shot. They sent Anthony Volpe into pinch run for LeMahieu. Second hit of the day for LeMahieu. 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 RBIs, and an 8-7 game with 2 gone in the 8th. Austin Wells has driven in 4 of their 7 runs today. Aroldis Chapman. Yankees are hoping it's too late. 1-0.
Bullpen for the Red Sox has been really worked. We talked about in the onset the error problem, the blown save, the one-run losses.
On a 2-0 pitch, Austin Wells takes a strike.
Unfortunately, in this game, you get a chance to undo everything you did wrong the day before, but you don't want that playing in your head. Here we go again. And these are the type of games that have been very frustrating when you come on the bad side of them, especially when you lose by 1.
Wells pops it up, foul ground at third. Toro's over. Does he have room? No. And the count evens 2-2. Yankees have scored 4 unanswered. 2 in the 4th, 2 more here in the 8th. From down 8 to 3. Volpe at second to tie and run. The 2-2 to Austin Wells. Got him with the high fence ball. But the Yankees have scratched and clawed with 4 in a row to get back to within 1. And it's DJ LeMahieu trying to prove that he's still got something in the tank. What a ball game. On to the 9th. Carlos Narvaez goes up there to lead off for the Red Sox here in the top of the 9th. Play Ball is baseball's global youth initiative to highlight the fun and accessible ways to play our great game. To learn more, find a league near you. Follow @PlayBall on social media. Go to playball.org. Heart of the order for the Red Sox. Ian Hamilton is on the mound for the Yankees. And if the Yankees are able to complete this comeback, the bullpen is going to be one of the stars of that after Ryan Yarbrough gave up 8 runs in 4 innings. 3 scoreless from De Los Santos and a scoreless inning from Leiter. Volpe stays in after pinch running and Peraza's over to second.
Yeah, the bullpen's been really good for the Yankees. It's been pretty good all year. Do you think Ian gets to go to the Broadway hit free because of his last name, Hamilton?
I would try it at least. It might not work, but it's worth a try.
Got 2 Hamiltons in this game.
David for the Red Sox.
And the guy on deck, we're trying to see if Google's percentages go down for his cycle watch.
Was it 2.?
It was 2.3. I thought.
You good?
Count evens 2-2 on Narvaez. Yankees in the bottom of the 9th have Jazz Chisholm, Oswald Peraza, Paul Goldschmidt coming up, and of course a couple hitters beyond that. You got Aaron Judge. He'd be due up 5th in the inning. And Aroldis Chapman, familiar guy around here. 2-2 from Hamilton. Well, it's not close. Have you seen the show? You've been to
I have, yeah.
What'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it's a hard show to get into. My wife loved it. I'm not a huge show guy, but it was good. Yeah, it was very good.
My partner on Dodger games, Oral Hershiser, went to 3 Broadway shows in a 24-hour span when the Dodgers were here to play the Yankees. Shot down the right field line, fading.
Wow, I don't think I could have done that.
He's a big Broadway guy. He used to take his young teammates when they'd come to New York.
I took him somewhere else. I took him to a golf course.
No!
Check swing, and Narvaez has a walk to start this 9th. And instead of chance at a cycle, Marcelo Meyer comes up the pinch hit. The rookie hit his first major league home run last night here at Yankee Stadium. In his first Yankees-Red Sox game, he said he's been thinking about playing in this rivalry from the day that he was drafted by the Red Sox. So that made it a little bit extra special, hitting that bomb here in his first time at Yankee Stadium. Was able to get the ball. That's not always a sure thing, but he was able to make a little trade, get the ball. He's going to give it to his dad. Go in his dad's office where they've got a bunch of other keepsakes from throughout his career. Marcelo was the 4th pick of the draft in 2021 out of high school outside of San Diego. Makes it to the majors here at the age of 22. One of the top prospects in baseball. When we talk about this roster being disjointed in a few ways, one of the ways is that he's having to play third base where he's only played 6 games as a pro. He's a good fielder no matter where you put him, but it's just not ideal to bring a guy up and have him make his major league debut out of the spot that he's used to playing. Sharp ground ball through the middle, base hit to center. Meyer with a pinch hit single.
Last night, you got to believe this is one of the greatest moments of any young player's career when they check in and get their first. And the last one, he does a nice job just staying on this ball, going right up the middle. A lot more of those in his future.
Marcelo actually grew up a Yankees fan, like so many players his age did, because of Derek Jeter. So that changed on draft night. Red Sox looking for insurance, looking for their first run since the 4th inning as Abraham Toro climbs in.
It's got to be a bunt attempt, doesn't it?
Yeah, we saw him show bunt earlier. Wow. Sure. 2 sacrifice bunts in 7 years in the majors for Toro. 2 on, nobody out. Swings away. He's down 0-2. Stays alive.
Like the old Yankees Red Sox battle about 10 years ago, 5 to 10 years ago, you could count on 4 hours, 14 minutes per game. Now we don't have to deal with that as much. Game sped up, rules enhanced.
Some long games, didn't
he sure knows about a lot of this rivalry.
Jason Varitek. A few foul balls in a row off of the bat of Toro. Takes this one in the dirt. Series wraps up tomorrow. On Sunday Night Baseball, Carlos Rodon for the Yankees. So run over 7 innings on Tuesday against Cleveland. Now a 2.49 ERA. That season they've been waiting for him to have. Shot the other way by Toro. That's a base hit. They had to make sure that it would fall. And so just station to station. And they've loaded the bases with nobody out.
Well, we saw that shot of Jason Varitek, and I can't help but think when the bases were loaded and I was trying to make my comeback to Boston, I had an out-of-body experience. He came out to the mound and says, "Are you all right?" I said, "Not really." He says, "What's wrong?" I said, "I don't know where to put my feet." I thought I was going to balk. I was so nervous. I got in a stance out of the windup that was the weirdest weight distribution I've ever done. And he said, "Just relax." I said, "I'm trying to relax. I don't know where. I think I'm going to balk." And I didn't do very well for Boston. It was a great opportunity they gave me, but I'll never forget him walking out, veteran, catcher, like veteran pitcher, 21 years. What's wrong?
Right. What do you mean? You don't know how to put your feet. You're
I
John
had
Smoltz.
no idea. And that's what nerves can do for the first time when you're in a different situation.
It's been a good day for Trevor Story, who had a 2-hit, 3 RBI day earlier this week. He's got another one today. 3-run double during that 5-run third. And a single his last time as well. Trying to put the finishing touches on best day of the season for him. Eight, 7, nobody out in the 9th. Story hooks it down the line, foul.
Well, with the bases loaded, his hitting odds go up because the infield has to come in. They've got to cut down the run at home. They cannot just turn a normal double play. So any hard hit ball on the ground that's right at one of the fielders, of course they can throw home, but it also cuts down the percentage of cutting off that hard hit ball.
Ground ball through, base hit for Trevor Story. It'll score a pair, and Boston gets the insurance, breaking through for their first run since the 4th inning. And how about Trevor Story, 3 hits and 5 knocked in.
Really good at bat. He tried to pull the first one, see a sinker away, goes right up the middle. And again, with the infield in, that was going to be a hit probably no matter what, but it just cuts down the ability on a hard hit ball to make a defend the play. And now I'm almost certain this should be a bunt.
8-hitter, Rafaela. First and second, nobody out. Let's see. No.
Wow. There's still time.
True. Now for Trevor Story, first 3-hit game since April 21st. Second time this year he's knocked in 5. Had a 6 RBI game against the White Sox. Still swinging. Chopper to the hold it short. Volpe will go to second with a low throw that's backhanded by Peraza. Red Sox have him at the corners now. 1 away.
This hop right there, he's got to get it, turn quick. Short arms it. Good play there. Second base.
So now David Hamilton, who came off of the bench to pinch hit for Christian Campbell last inning and struck out, has Toro at third and Story at first.
Of all the times we didn't predict it, what if this is the time that's the unexpected?
It's the best time to do it. Just when nobody's thinking. Nope. Kenny, you've got more on Story.
Joe, talking to some Red Sox people about Story, they say he's just as athletic as ever. And keep in mind, he hasn't played much the previous 3 seasons. This is him kind of learning himself all over again. And obviously, it's going to take time to get back into a rhythm. Offensively and defensively, he has struggled. Perhaps this week is the week that turns it around.
Yeah, yet to play in 100 games. His time with the Red Sox is in his 4th season. There's another 2 years, as Kenny told you earlier, on that contract. But injuries have prevented him from fulfilling that deal, fulfilling the hype that came with it after some big seasons in Colorado. And the injuries have kept him from being able to say, hey, it wasn't just Coors Field that helped me put up those numbers. I'm a legit offensive player, a legit all-around player. It's hard to know just because he hasn't been on the field. Got the Hamiltons going head-to-head here. Two-two. Grounded to second. There's one over to first. A double play. Red Sox get their first run since the 4th inning. On a little breathing room with Chisholm, Peraza, and Goldschmidt coming up. Good Hands Play, sponsored by Allstate. Trevor Story having a big night for the Boston Red Sox. 3 hits. He drove in 5. And has the Red Sox in front 10-7 as this game goes to the bottom of the 9th. What's a long-time Yankee closer, Aroldis Chapman, in his first year with the Red Sox, his 16th season in the majors, and the dude's still pumping 100. Got the fastest pitch on record by a Red Sox, 103.8, and an easy 99 by Chisholm.
Yeah, the ageless wonder. This guy has been, he's a physical specimen, and he just keeps doing it. It's amazing.
Chisholm. 8-9-1 in this inning for the Yankees. Chisholm, Peraza, Goldschmidt. Then you get into Rice and Judge. Chapman, the best he's been in a couple years. Ahead of Chisholm, 1-2. So the Yankees for 7 seasons. They went Kansas City and Texas. Last year, Pittsburgh. Deal with the Red Sox. Part of what was a really good offseason. Had a lot of optimism around these guys. Strikes out Chisholm quickly.
Command early was not a strength of his. He could throw it a lot harder, but I think he's better now. I really do. His command, he's got 2 more pitches he can throw now.
Turns on this ball, down the line, foul. But Chapman, if he could get a save here, it would be his 84th career save at New Yankee Stadium, which would tie him with Mariano Rivera for the most in this ballpark. Of course, most of Mariano's career came at Old Yankee Stadium. But still, anytime you see your name with his, pretty cool. There's that splitter, and he's ahead 0-2. Soft bouncing ball. Meyer charges from third. Throws on the run. 2 gone in the 9th. This Red Sox offense that has been boom or bust this year sports for 10 runs today. Against one of the top pitching staffs in baseball. Ryan Yarbrough just did not have the same stuff that he's had for most of the season. They got 8 runs against him in 4 innings. And then added 2 in the 9th against the Yankee pen. Goldschmidt trying to keep it alive. Takes inside. Ball 1 from Chapman. 0 for 4 with 3 Ks tonight.
Boston pitching has done a great job on their lineup, striking out 15 Yankees. 16 on the year is their high.
About 101 from Chapman. 37 years old. A marvel. Strike 2. Bouncing ball to first. Toro to Chapman, who stumbles over the bag but gets the job done. And Red Sox fans hold their breath a little bit. Sees that he comes up with a smile and hopefully not too much of a limp there. Red Sox are saying, can't we just have nice things? Can we have anything good? Gosh. Look at a series split. Now they got to worry about their closer stumbling over there at first base.
Reached for the bag, didn't get it the first time, had to go sidestep it back.
All right, but the Red Sox have tied this series up. Trevor Story drives the bus as the offense comes to life. 10 runs on 14 hits in this game. And so tomorrow will be the rubber match between these teams. Garrett Crochet, even though he gives up 5 runs, strikes out 9, gets the win.
It's not too early to call this a really big win for the Boston Red Sox. They had been struggling. They went down 3-1, and then Crochet kept the lead. They got tight late, but the big lefty delivered when they needed, and the season really, as we talked about, I think has to start tonight with a little more consistency. You feed off of it. The starting pitchers have to start picking up the slack. Offensively, they're going to be fine. They've proven they can score enough runs.
Well, at this point, they have to win the games Garrett Crochet starts. Tonight they do. Trevor Story chipping in with the offense tonight with 5 knocked in. And he stands by with Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Joe. Trevor, 3 hits, 5 RBIs. What does this night tell you about where you are and trying to regain your rhythm?
Yeah, it's good, man. Just nice to get the W, honestly. That's what it's about, coming here in a hostile environment, playing a good team. So, yeah, it was good to contribute on the offensive side tonight, and the guys got on base for me so I can knock them in.
The previous 3 years, you haven't played a whole lot. How difficult has this been, this whole process, trying to get back to where you were before?
Yeah, it's been tough. It's been tough. You know, a lot of injuries, a lot of things kind of out of my control, but you know, I'm honestly just happy to be playing baseball and really enjoying the moment, trying to be present, not trying to chase the past or anything like that, but just be the best version of myself here in 2025 and the best person I can be to help this ball club win. And, yeah, tonight we did that.
That said, what does a night like this do for your confidence?
It's great. You know, anytime we can come in here and beat these guys, it feels a little more sweet, you know. And to come through in some spots with some guys on base means a lot to me. And, yeah, man, that's what I like to do.
Trevor, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joe, back to you.
All right, Kenny, and what will have to be baby steps for these Red Sox. They get a game closer to 500, a game closer to the Yankees with a lot of season to play. 10-7 the final score. Bunch of offense first 2 games here in the Bronx. 9-6 Yankees last night. 10-7 Red Sox tonight. For John Smoltz and Ken Rosenthal, Joe Davis saying so long from Yankee Stadium. We'll talk to you again next weekend from Boston.
Yanks miss out on a chance at their 40th win of the season with Dontre Willis at Chris Myers post-game baseball night in America. Boy, last couple of seasons, the Red Sox have a winning record at Yankee Stadium. Given the situation here, can the Red Sox still be, I know Toronto's second in the division, the best challenger to the Yankees in this division over the whole of the season?
Absolutely, especially with Cora at the helm. They've had the experience, and they need guys like Trevor Story. I thought he played a heck of a ball game today. 5 RBIs, 3 hits today. Coming into this ball game, in general, he was hitting 170 over his last 15 ball games. Now, you have Alex Bedwin down, so you need somebody to really be a callous and be a protector, especially when you have guys like Dever, who's going to continue to be a pest, especially with the Yankees, but you need multiple guys to elongate that lineup. I thought Gonzalez was outstanding as well in that lineup. Also, matchups make fights. I felt like they did a good job of shutting down Aaron Judge. He was 0 for 4 today with 3 strikeouts. So as long as you keep their big boppers at bay and you step up, you should have a chance to win a ball game with that lineup.
A chance for Boston if they can take the Yankees when they do go head-to-head. Let's check on some other highlights. And the Padres had a chance with a win to tie the Dodgers at the moment, top spot in the division.
Oh!
They tied the game in Milwaukee, but Caleb Durbin with a walk-off.
Yeah, the Cheeseheads was rocking, General, getting his foot down, and that felt like a playoff atmosphere once that went over the fence, baby.
Brewers have won 10 of their last 12, a dramatic finish from an unlikely hero as the Brewers celebrate. All right, the Blue Jays chasing the Yankees. 8th inning, they're down until George Springer gets a hold of this for his 10th of the year.
I love his game, especially when he's able to stay healthy. lefty, and the top of that lineup provides some thumping, some energy.
4.5 back of the Yankees at the moment in the AL East. Cubs, Tigers, Detroit, best record in baseball. But Suzuki, a 2-homer game. Pete Crow Armstrong also homered for the Cubs, and they win it easily 6-1.
They're not playing in the Northside General, one of the league's best offenses.
And talk about offense, Dodgers, but not today. Bottom of the ninth, tied at 1. Nolan Arenado, his 13th career walk-off.
You know what? Every time he hears his name in the rumbles of trade, he might leave. He always does something impactful as a leader and a veteran in that lineup.
Cardinals back-to-back beating of the Dodgers. They stay 4 back of the Cubs in the Central. Mariners, Angels, and Cal Raleigh, what a story. The catcher for Seattle, 25th home run. This is a 3-run shot in the opening inning here to lead all of baseball. But the story in this game, Julio Rodriguez hit with a line drive, had to be helped off the field. Keep an eye on that injury. Tomorrow, it's the UFL playoffs. Michigan battling defending champion Birmingham. 3 Eastern will run ABC. And then at 6 Eastern on Fox, DC takes on St. Louis. The UFL Conference Championships tomorrow, ABC and then Fox. For Dontre Willis, I'm Chris Myers, our entire crew. Thanks for watching Baseball Night in America. You have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you next Saturday right here.